Hey everybody, it's Andy from Beyond Guitar, and we're back with another live video, and we're going to do Creed, One Last Breath. It's in the key of D. Make sure your guitar is tuned to standard tuning, and here we go. Let's take a look at the tabs. Okay, from the very first note, you can tell you've got to hit open string on the 4th string and then 2nd fret on the 1st string. And so what are you going to do? Are you going to pinch the strings and use finger picking? Well, Mark Tremonti from Creed actually plays one note with his pick, and then the other note is plucked using the middle finger. Okay, so let's take more of a close-up on that. All right, let's see what's happening there. So one note with the pick, one note with the finger. It's this kind of move, okay? Pick and middle finger, kind of a pinch. Okay, so you got to hit both of those notes at the same time. So pinch the strings like that. Okay, 4th string open, 5th fret high string, 4th string open, and then here comes a hammer. Okay, it says hammer the 2nd fret, but it doesn't tell you what finger to play. And so what you got to do is you got to hammer using finger 2. Use finger 2. Why? Because see how it says let it ring? You're going to hammer using finger 2. Keep that note on. Let it keep ringing. Play the next note with finger 3. And then play the next note. And it's still ringing. Okay, and so let's take a close look at this note right here. Okay, I highlighted a note. Actually, you know, that's supposed to be 2nd fret, isn't it? To make a D chord. If you would have played a 2nd fret note right there, you'd spell out your classic cowboy chord D. And I think, you know, maybe that's the way he wrote the song and that's what he meant to do. And then when he got to the recording studio and sat in front of the mics and played, he just happened to play open string right there. Maybe he was getting ready for the next chord. Okay, so it sounds cool to play an open string note. That's fine. That's the recording, and that's what it says in the tab. Okay, but you could also sound the 2nd fret, and you'd have your classic D chord. Okay, so there's some controversy over that particular note, but that's okay. Okay, so see how it says let it ring all the time? So you've got to let all those notes ring. How many notes are ringing right now? I have 4 strings that are all still going because I never let go of the notes, and that's the most important part of this song. Okay, again, to go through the fingering, start the song on finger 1, play the pinky, hammer on with finger 2, finger 3. Okay, it's time to move on to the next measure, measure 2. There's even little numbers at the top. See right there how it has a 2? Measure 2. This is where we're at. Right here. It's an A chord. All right, we have open A. 2nd fret on the 2nd string. I'm going to use my pointer finger. 1st finger. Next note, 3rd fret. I'm using my middle finger. Next note, hammer, right? So this is a tricky hammer. It's hammer from finger 2 to pinky. Okay, you won't need finger 1 anymore, so I hope you're not still squeezing finger 1, because if you are, you're putting energy into a note that's not even being played. So let go of finger 1 and just play finger 2 and finger 4. Hammer. Okay, what's next? Open string. Okay, double pull off. Let's figure this out. Right there, it says 5, 3, 2, 3. What you do is you put all your fingers in a row. Okay, get your 2nd fret note ready. Get your 3rd fret note ready. Get your 5th note ready. bam, I have every note I need. And so now all I have to do is play and then take this finger away and then take this finger away. And then after, I'm going to slam this finger back on. Okay, so line up all your fingers and get ready for that move. 5, 3, 2, 3. It's all done with one stroke of the pick. Okay. Ends on open A. There it is. Let's keep going. Ooh, the next one is a little bit of a tricky thing because at first glance, it's just a bunch of notes that bounce around. Okay, but actually, this is a 2nd fret bar chord, and it doesn't say that on the sheet, but I'm going to show you. Okay, to play the next chord, you have to put your finger like this. Take your pointer finger, squish it flat, and cover 5 of the strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 strings in a row. You don't really need string 6 because that string's not being played right now. So we got 5 strings all squished flat with the pointer finger. So that's a bar chord. That covers all the 2s you see on the page. So any of the notes that say fret 2, there's a 2, here's a 2, there's a 2, here's a 2. Those are all being covered right now with my pointer finger. All right, now let's play the notes. I'm going to need fret 4. And so I notice at the end of the measure there's also a couple 4s. I'm going to go ahead and put those 4s on there. See, I use my ring finger and my pinky just squished in real close together. And finally we see a note with a 3 there. 3 on the 2nd string. So middle finger. I'm going to go ahead and get those fingers ready. And here we go. We're going to play with the pick and the middle finger, and we're going to pinch. 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 2nd fret. Okay, here comes the hammer. So it looks like this, okay? I'm still holding the other notes. Let's see what that looks like when I do a close-up. It's basically this chord, and the only move you do is like this. Okay, that's a big chord, but that's how he really plays it. Let's keep going. The next chord, measure 4, shows a G chord. All right, we got our 3rd fret note on the bass string. That's easy. 0, 0, 0. Simple, right? Okay, then after that it says 3, 2, 3, 2. But notice it says let it ring. The zeros are easy to let it ring, right? If you play a 0, it's just going to ring if you just do nothing. So that's easy. But that initial note, fret 3 low string, you got to let that ring, which means you can't take your finger off it. So you got to keep your finger there. I didn't move it. It's still there. That note's still sustaining. Okay, so don't abandon that finger. Let it stay on the string. Okay, and then our little let it ring thing at the top there, that little dotted line, it says, okay, you don't have to let it ring anymore. Whew, okay, fine. We'll play the last 2 notes. 3, 2. Okay, let's put it all together. So that first line of the song goes. All right, let's continue on. How about the next line? Is it the same? Okay, well, it starts out on the same kind of thing. 0, 2, pinch the string. Open D. Ooh, but now it's fret 3. Open D. Fret 2. And then we have 0, 2, 0. Just play it as fast as you can, okay? Hit the 0 with your pick, slam on the 2nd fret, and then give the string a little tug and snap the string. Let's do it with our middle finger, okay? All right, what's next? 3rd fret. I'm going to still probably use my middle finger. I don't know, maybe we should rethink the fingers for this part. Let's start this part again. 2nd fret note, I'm going to use my pointer finger. 3rd fret note, I'm going to use my middle finger. 2nd fret note, you know, I'm going to use my index finger. And with the hammer, I'm going to use my index finger this time, because I know what's coming next. I'm going to need to play the 3rd fret with my 2nd finger. And I'm going to need to reach way over and hit the 4th fret on the 5th string. 3rd finger. Okay, I had to rethink it because, you know, as I was playing it, I realized I tried to use the same finger twice. And it was a fast move, so that's kind of a recipe for disaster. If you're trying to play a hammer-on and pull-off and go real fast, and also you're going to play the next note with the same finger, why is one finger doing all the work and the other fingers are not even playing? That doesn't make sense. Maybe every note could be a different finger. Okay, so here, every note's a different finger. This note is finger 1, this note is finger 2, and this note is finger 3. So every note's a different finger. Okay? Now with the hammer-on and the pull-off, sometimes that can get a little tricky. And so here's my advice to you. Put the edge of your hand against the bottom edge of the fretboard and then try. It's a little bit different than if you just have a space. If you have a space here, it's a little bit different than if you put your hand against the edge. Okay, you get a little bit more stability there. Okay, back to the song. Now we're on measure 6. See that little 6 right there? Measure 6. It's an A chord, 0, 2, 2, 2. Okay, I would avoid the classic A, you know, cowboy chord with 3 fingers in a row. This is another 2nd fret bar. So cover all those 2s with your pointer finger, squish it flat. 0, 2, 2, 2. And now we're going to play a hammer-on and pull-off. Yes, we're playing a bar and a hammer-on and pull-off at the same time. Fret 4, then 0. Okay, so we're just playing this like a bar chord. All right, my best advice there is this. A lot of times when you play a bar chord, what happens? Let's face it, what are the physics of the hand? You know, if you had a tennis ball and I said squeeze this tennis ball, what would happen? Your fingers would get closer together, right? So if I say play this bar chord, what happens? Your fingers all squish together. Okay, but that'll never work because we have to do this. We're going to play a hammer-on and pull-off, and there has to be a space between the fingers. You can't have the fingers close together or on top of each other. You've got to have a space. So try to play the bar and then spread out. Give me a space there, because this finger has to do your hammer. There must be a space there. This is a good exercise to try to figure that out. Okay, back to the song. Okay, we're in measure 7, right here. 2, 4, 4, 2, 2. Bar chord. Push all those notes down at the same time. And then there's a 0 at the end. Why is there a 0? Okay, well, that's just a transitional note to get to the next chord. He lets go of the chord so he can jump on the next chord. He's just transitioning, okay? So 2, 4, 4, 2, 2, 2, 4. Time to let go. And then you get ready to play the next chord. Let's move on. Measure 8. 3, 2, 0, 0, 3, 3, 0, 0. Let it ring. Okay, hold all those notes down. Keep the fingers in position. There we go. Okay, this whole line sounds like this. There we go. Okay, and then the rest of the song kind of just keeps doing that, right? With some tiny variations, but a lot of it's just more of the same. Just keep repeating. Finally, he gets into the chords. All right, let's do the chord section. First, at measure 25, we have a D chord. Hey, and I like these arrows because it kind of shows you which way he's strumming it, and that's kind of cool. He goes down, down, up, down. Why are the arrows backwards? That's interesting. Let's talk about that. If you were to strike this note, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, you'd be strumming down. I know, the arrow looks like it's pointing up toward the ceiling. Shouldn't I strum up? That's a down. The arrows are reverse on the sheet. Why is that? Because the low string is toward the ceiling and the high string's toward the floor. You know, the guitar strings are upside down, right? The lowest note's up high and the highest note's down low. That's just how it is. Okay, so it says D chord, down, down, up, down. Then see all those 0, 0, 0? See that part? That's him hitting the strings. Lift your fingers up and get on the next chord. Hey, it's hard to switch chords fast, you know? It's hard to jump chords fast. And so what you do is you strum the chord, hit your open strings, and then put your fingers on the next chord. And it gives you a split second of extra time to get ready. See, this is a tough chord to jump on. So that extra split second of time gives you all the time you need to slap your fingers down on this chord. 2, 4, 4, 3, 2, 2. 2, 4, 4, 3, 2, 2. All right, here's how Mark Tremonti does it. He just kind of forms his fingers up in the air like this, holds it above the strings, and then he goes, bam! He just plants them all at one time. Okay, if you're new at guitar, you're probably at home going, I got finger 1. I got finger 2. I got finger 3. I got finger 4. Okay, and that's fine. That's how you learn it. That's how you figure it out. That's how you build your skills. Okay, but as time goes on, you get faster by putting your fingers like this, form the chord, and then just slap it onto the guitar fretboard all at the same time. I'm not moving each individual finger, okay? Keep that finger shape, because look at the next chord, all right? When you go to the next chord in measure 27, it's still 2, 4, 4, 3, 2. You just have to lift them up, move one string closer to the floor, put them back down again. It's like the same chord. Just move it one string over. Okay, and then in measure 28, it plays a G. Okay, so how does this whole line sound? You've got your D chord. This is F sharp. You've got your B minor. And you got your G. Let's do a close-up on the hand there. Okay, here's my D. Form your chord up in the air. Slap it down onto the strings. Keep those fingers. Just move those fingers one string down toward the floor and put them right back on the strings again. Time to play G. Good thing this finger is almost right where it needs to be. Hey, I didn't even have to lift that finger up. I just kind of kept it. And when you don't let go of all the strings, that helps you. So if you're playing a chord and you can at least keep one finger and sort of just touch the strings and adjust it and move to the next chord, that's how you play without looking at your hands. That's how you play without looking at the fretboard, okay? You get the feel of it. Okay, anyway, I'll put this tab on BeyondGuitar.com and you could download my comments and the finger numbers, and hopefully you found that helpful. Hey, and if you like my videos and you want to see more of these videos, please drop a like and a subscribe and maybe a comment. And the more comments and likes that it gets, the more YouTube shows it to other people who are interested in guitar, and my channel grows. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video. Bye-bye.